Our top story this morning, inflation running strong. The federal government releasing the latest figures from the Consumer Price Index this morning. The index rose by 7% the last 12 months. It's the largest such hike in consumer prices in a one-year period since 1982. Chief White House correspondent James Rosen joining us now live from the North Lawn to break these numbers down for us. James?
Emma, good morning once again. You mentioned that top line figure of 7% increase. Let's drill down now to see what's really driving the inflation. Food costs over the 12-month period of December 2020 to December 2021 rose by 6.3%. Clothing was up 5.8%. Shelter, the cost of living space, rose by more than 4%. Now, here come the main factors. Energy costs rose by nearly 30%. Electricity was up 6.3%, and the price of gasoline, all kinds, soared by 49.6%. And it isn't just gas, but the machines that rely on it. New vehicles cost nearly 12% more than they did in 2020. Used cars and trucks are up a whopping 37.3%, more than a third. And transportation services rose by just over 4%. One more category of importance to all Americans, healthcare. The Bureau of Labor Statistics finding the costs of medical care services rose by 2.5 percentage points last year. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, recently reappointed by President Biden, addressed the subject before the Senate Banking Committee yesterday.
We know that high inflation exacts a toll, particularly for those less able to meet the higher costs of essentials like food, housing, and transportation. We will use our tools to support the economy and a strong labor market and to prevent higher inflation from becoming entrenched.
Becoming entrenched. It might feel that way right now. We expect to see White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki briefing reporters in the 3 o'clock hour ahead of the release of the CPI report at 8:30 this morning. Yesterday, we saw a chart released by the White House citing blue chip economic indicators that showed the year-to-year CPI changes would continue to grow, but at a slower pace, with the White House projecting that we'd see the CPI topping out at 3% at the end of this year. That would be a cut of more than half if it happens, and then dipping below that for 2023. But nonetheless, these are concerning numbers for all Americans, for the economy, and for this White House. Emma.
Yeah, an acknowledgement that inflation no longer transitory. The concern that it could be entrenched, hoping to prevent that, though. James Rosen, thank you so much. Coming up, U.S. inflation. You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.